on? What? I don't understand what's going on here.
Give me a break, give me a break.
I don't understand what's going on here.
Give me a break, give me a break.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What? I don't understand.
I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it before and I'll say it again.
I don't understand what's going on here.
All right, it's time to stop this time. It's time to stop the time lapse and talk about what I did, because I do want to explain what I did, even because I was going to do it during the instead of a time lapse, I was going to explain what I was doing as long as when I was going, but it's going to be hard to explain everything I do because I like to just go quickly. So, first of all, the ball spawning mechanic is probably the easiest to understand. The ball spawns here. It goes through a trigger, which is going to set the ball material to whatever color it is. Now, it's easier to set the ball material here because the ball material has to be its own separate thing. You can't put it together with anything. And then this bottom trigger teleports it because it's easier just to have this on its own. It teleports us to its respectable place. So all the balls have different path nodes. All the balls have different path nodes that they'll go to. And then this is the simple names system. I tried to use an array in Flash, but it wasn't working, so I had to separate it, and netcode was being weird, so I had to separate all 6 of them, which is fine. I mean, they all fit. But it does after 4 seconds, and only once at the beginning, at the first kickoff. Just because if it does it more than once, it's going to be a little bit of an issue. And then this part just makes it so it's going to continuously spawn them. Now I'm going to have to add the triggers that are on the first level somewhere over here. The triggers on the first level under here. I'm going to have to add all these to all the levels, so that's going to be a tedious thing that I'll do off time lapse, because there are a few things I need to do off time lapse because it's just too confusing to do in a time lapse like setting, because it's just going to be a lot of me just like idling. And then this is just the basic how you do tier leveling, or like the levels, like alphabet, mini golf, stuff like that. Just score changed, add an integer, and see what it is, and then set all the path nodes. Now this sequence is very simple. It just sets all the path nodes locations, and that's all it does. And so I can just easily switch them like this instead of having to copy that line of code. It's just simpler to do it in a subsequence. So that's one for all 15 levels. And then this is the madness of basically. So basically, when I'm going to get the vehicle, the vehicle is going to touch this trigger over here. So this is where everything happens. So it's going to touch this trigger over here, which is the same for both teams. This is the blue spawn and the red spawn. They both go to the same trigger because it's not a team-based thing. It's a free-for-all. And then it's going to get a PRI of the player ID. And the player ID is actually like, it's going to be like 280. And when I tested it, it went to 255 one game, and then it was 270 the next game, and then it was 290 the next game, and then it went to 103. So I couldn't just use one. So basically, the first time it fires, it's going to be the host that's going to have to spawn first. And then after the host spawns, it's going to do a control subtraction. So let's say the host is 270. So it's going to subtract 1. So it's going to subtract 269. So if it subtracts 270 of the player ID from the control subtraction, which is now 269, you're going to get 1. And if the second player spawns, it's going to be, let's say, 268. Because it does go in order, so it's 268, 269, 270. It's just the number that it goes off of is random. So if the second player spawns and it's 268, it's going to subtract by 267. And so if the player 0 spawns, it's going to be 0. So the host has to spawn first, but that's just something that can, I might change later. We'll see what happens. And then basically off the player ID, it's going to set the player name, and then it's going to teleport you red spawn. So this it only sets the player name once, and then it's going to teleport you to the red spawn every single time you touch that trigger. Or, you know, the dark blue, green, whatever spawns. And then here are the variables. Nothing special, they're all just names and times. And times aren't set up yet, that's the thing I'm going to figure out off time-lapse, because it's going to be too confusing to do on time-lapse, because I'm just going to be idling a lot, because it's a lot to figure out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All of the levels have player and ball spawns. all the levels aren't set up yet because this is actually going to spawn the ball and it's not just going to spawn for you. And then some of them I have to configure that, like these ones, the balls are going to spawn down here. So I'm going to have to move these down like that. I'll have to figure that out too. And then this one is a turtle race, so balls don't spawn at all. And you're just going to have to turtle your way up this mountain as balls or heavy balls are going to fall down on you and knock you around. So that should be a fun level. But some of these I'm going to just have to figure out in general. But it's getting there. Very slowly, but it's getting there. So there's a big difference between how this map's supposed to work. They're not supposed to be hard challenges, it's supposed to be done by anyone. So this one, I mean, it's just a long tube, and anyone can complete a long tube. But if you're smart, you'll, I don't know, you'll take off the bounce and musty it in or something like that. I don't know. But you can do it faster if you're good at the game, and that's the point, is that if you're good, you can do it quicker, but anyone can complete them. So this is just a basic dribble. They just have to complete, it's just a straight line. Should be simple enough to complete. And then this one does have collision. So this is an example of one that good players will do quick. So if you were good, you could probably flick it in. This is just here to make sure you don't flick it like in an arc, but you could probably flick it in if you wanted to. But this, you could roll the ball along this and then have it hit the speed bump and then wait for it to go over and then keep going, and you would eventually complete it. But someone who's good could dribble it over and bounce it over them and in as quick as possible. So overall it's going very well. And then this is also set up for when I eventually going to spawn the ball. It's going to spawn it into here and it's going to reset the levels. And so you can see it's not going to award any points to any team. So after all the players have completed it, it's going to reset it, and I'm going to actually name this now too. And name that level settings. There we go. It's important to stay organized in a big project like this, because, I mean, this doesn't look that organized, and I'm going to have to change it probably anyway. Like, if I move that there, it's a lot more organized looking. But you gotta keep everything organized, otherwise you're not going to know where anything is. That's pretty much it for this time lapse. Hope you enjoyed. I will set up textures and stuff, but that's also going to be something I do off camera. I'm going to stop talking now. I'll see you when the map is done, or in another time lapse. I don't know if I'll do another time lapse, but I will see you when the map is done 100%. But for now, I'll see you.